do that. And do that. Hello, everyone. Oh, it's been a week. Managed to, calm down, settle down. Uh, it's been a week. Anyways, welcome back. Yeah. Well, anyways, welcome back to PowerWash Simulator. If we recall last time, while chatting with my friends, we did a couple of jobs. We first cleaned up someone's dirt bike that hasn't been cleaned for 15 years. Seriously, that cannot be sanitary.
And he thinks that that's the reason why he's not winning.
I know some people like their good luck charms, but that's ridiculous. And then, of course, we cleaned up this monster of a playground.
Yeah.
Because the kids were getting sick.
That was a time and a half.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this time around, the plan is cleaning up the golf cart because the mayor asked me to, and cleaning the bungalow. And of course, hopefully, I will get myself a wee little upgrade with this, the Urban XU2. I'm close to that price. Anyways, and of course, like last time, I am joined in by my two awesome friends, awesome hosts, the eccentric Mr. Chaos.
Yo!
And
why is everything so dirty?
Yeah. And of course, our resident half kaiju warrior, the Linkzilla.
Hello, everybody. I am the Linkzilla. Glad to be here.
Yep. All right. So, like before, we start with a small job, and then we go to the big job. So, the mayor's been waiting patiently, so let's clean up his golf cart. Mayor Jeff Jefferson the 13th. Okay! I need you to clean my sorry golf cart. You might have heard about my poor cat Ulysses going missing. We're all frantic with worry with with the ceremony just around the corner. I swear I saw him on the golf course frolicking on the lily pads in the lake by the 13th. Par 3, but I always get a birdie. By the time I realized it was just a boisterous carp, it was too late. I slammed on the brakes and went tumbling down the slope head over tail. Don't worry, docs give me the all clear. They said they'd never seen anyone recover from such a minor incident in so little time, but the cart needs a hose down. Oof. So basically,
Ouch.
to put it simply, he was looking for his cat, thought he saw it at the pond, and took a nosedive. Yeah, as we recall from one of the other blog posts that we got on our phone, the cat went missing.
And who amongst us hasn't basically, injured themselves when trying to recover their cats?
Yeah. Oof! That was one heck of a nosedive. At least this time we know exactly how this one got dirty.
Yep.
Okay, so just...
Lucky that the machine is still in one piece.
Yeah? Still in one piece, so we'll just give the thing a quick little wash. I love those dings! And not only will this thing will still look... Oh, look at that! It is literally called golf cart. Oh.
Golf cart brand golf carts.
Yep.
Woohoo!
Tire clean.
Sponsored by Beer Brand Beer.
Yep. Drink responsibly. Yeah, drink responsibly, people. There we go. Yeah, we here at Spellcaster Kitsune Entertainment do not condone the reckless habit of reckless drinking. Or drinking and driving on that matter. Be responsible.
We're watching the Velma show. We wouldn't wish that upon anyone.
Please, let's not do... Oh, now that is a huge stain on the entertainment industry. I would love to power wash completely.
Exactly. You get the joke.
Don't ask, Link. Just don't ask.
No, he's aware, I'm sure. Have you
Yeah.
guys ever been golfing?
I
I
have I have a once back in high school. One of my gym teachers at the time was into golf.
I've
Yeah.
been golfing a few times. There were the times I played were few and far between. I used to caddy for my dad.
Ah, that's so sweet.
Oh, now I feel envious. My only experience is mini golfing, and I don't think that counts.
I
Yeah.
mean, I think that it counts. I think
Oh
that's
yeah, it totally counts. If it
it's
makes
a
you feel
more
better,
fun version of golf.
I'm more mini golf than actual real golf anyway. Because back when I was living with my parents, we were close to a water park that had a golf course that even included a very nicely priced mini golf.
Hmm.
I honestly can't believe that there was a time where my dad actually used to go golfing while he was working at his old job. And now that he basically has moved down to Mexico, he and his new wife, they basically have a membership to a country club. He basically goes golfing all the time.
Nice. Well, well, if you got the time, you got the money. Why not?
Everybody who basically watches him play keeps complimenting his swing, and it's like, you must be a professional. It's like, I actually haven't played in 10 years.
Well,
Imagine if,
I guess for him,
imagine how well
golfing.
he'd be if he was professional.
Yeah, I guess golfing for him is like getting back onto a bike.
Yeah.
Do 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 do. This is like the quickest and easiest job ever. But yeah, have you
Because
ever
there's
heard?
a lot of big surfaces.
Yep. Have you ever heard the Velma show there, Link?
Of course I have.
Oh yeah, I'm guessing you would want to like blast it to the next Hyrulean calamity, don't you?
Basically.
Let me
The thing
join
that
that
gets me
club.
the most about it, especially with seeing other people's opinions on it, is that in some ways it can potentially work with some of the ideas, not all of it, but naturally, but some could theoretically work if it was separate to everything else that goes on.
If the series actually had competent writers.
Ugh.
Instead, as it is, the series is nothing more than a self-insert fanfic by Mindy Kaling, which she basically uses to pretty much bash. You know what? Let's not get into it.
Yeah.
It's a stain on the Scooby Doo franchise, and let's end it at that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically making people validate Get Real Scooby-Doo. The Scooby-Doo version that is in the style of Family Guy.
Yeah, I saw that myself. The clip definitely seemed weird.
Yeah. Anyways, on the better news, we finished the golf cart, and Mayor Jeff Jefferson the 13th is happy. Looking at the golf cart now, it's almost like the whole thing never happened. You're a genius, Dirt Finder. Much obliged. Glad to help, Mr. Mayor, and let's hope you find your cat.
Could throw it a tip.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the show is so bad that it's making people give Shaggy and Scooby-Doo Get a Clue a chance.
Ah. Anyways, next up, clean the bungalow. Calvin Miller from 113 Apple Avenue in Buckingham. Hey, Doc, you meant that I mentioned my folks? Well, I think that it's time their bungalow had met your pressure washer. It's so filthy, it's hard to tell where the ground ends and the house begins. When I mentioned you to Ma, her eyes lit up. Pops moaned and said the browner the porch, the warmer the touch, which clearly means nothing, so he's overruled. If you can give the place a good cleanup, I'm sure it'll give them both a lift. Thanks again, Cal. Okay, so this is his parents' place. Oof. Let's take a look at how bad it looks.
How do the people in this neighborhood live like this?
No idea. I think in this case, the husband just got lazy. Oh Wait, what's that in the background? Oh! You guys see that, do you?
A
A
volcano?
volcano?
Yes.
I have a bad feeling I may have found out some sources of the dirt.
Yeah.
Anyways, but,
I,
yeah,
I told
yeah,
you that all this stuff was ash.
this is bad. Let's see. Oh my gosh, it's all over from the back to the front to even the chimney. Oh god. This is this isn't just laziness, it's just plain darn neglect at this point. Okay, got my
Yeah,
ladder,
jeez.
got my step stool. Let's start from from the bottom. Hmm. I'm so glad that you're here. Calvin's such a good boy. He's a volcanologist, you know. Aw.
Volcanologist.
There, clean me. I couldn't resist. I swear, with all these big jobs, I always have to add a little doodle or two. Anyways, like I said, let's start from the bottom. Ooh, yeah. And since this is just water, back it up. Let's get Dolores through her flowers a little watering. Free of charge.
But wait, aren't you also pumping soap onto them?
I don't have the soap attachment.
Oh, okay.
So we're good on that front. There you go, Dolores. Free watering for the plants. You know, now another thought just came into my mind for a random topic we could talk about.
hmm
Gaming moments that made us cry. Do you guys have any gaming moments that made you cry? Because I know I got a whole bunch.
Cry how? Like, cry, this is so unbelievably hard, I can't do it, or cry because this made me feel something.
The feels.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I honestly think that it goes without saying, the ending of Ocarina of Time. I mean, I've been playing that game for basically most of all of my life, ever since I started gaming, and watching the ending, it always somehow manages to get me, because it really is such a beautiful and well-made game that it really kind of like brings you into the world. A lot of people nowadays unfairly compare it to how gaming is nowadays, and if you make that comparison, the game will look sparse, but I prefer to continue looking at it from the time that it was made and what innovations it actually made to gaming, because all the comparisons, the things that people are comparing it to, those wouldn't have happened without Ocarina of Time. So,
Exactly. If I recall correctly, it revolutionized the aiming system, bringing on the Z button aiming, or Z button in your case.
well, definitely. And the whole targeting system and the freedom of movement, because, I mean, sure, Mario 3D, Mario 64 basically was like the first 3D mascot platformer, but I really think that everything that Mario 64 did, Ocarina of Time perfected, and
Oh
that.
yeah.
So, what am I getting at here? As for the ending, I think that basically part of the ending that's so powerful is that it really depends on how long you play the game, because me and my older brother, we were kids. We were absolutely hopeless at like playing games, especially because we had to make time in between like school and chores, and not only that, but actually having to share time between us. So it felt like it took us months to finish the game when it really could only take just a few days, if not an entire week. So
As someone with multiple siblings, I feel you there.
I think that over the years we just sort of got used to this idea of existing in that version of Hyrule. It basically is like if we wanted to pretty much go anywhere we could, we would just go there and hang out with the NPCs there, and it was such a calm and tranquil place that it really just kind of makes you feel like home. And then you actually beat the game, and then you see the end credits with the instrumental take on Zelda's Lullaby as the credits are rolling, and you see all these aerial shots and these vistas of Hyrule, except the difference is that all the NPCs, all the people that you know, are not there. And well, the world does feel empty without them, but it feels kind of like a more personal moment for the player because it's like the game is giving you one last look at all these places that you've come to know, this world that you've been so invested in, and it's kind of like you know that this is the point where you have to say goodbye, and the point that it really hits you is when you get to Zora's Fountain section, and the the instrumental of Zelda's Lullaby breaks up and gives way to Milan actually vocalizing Zelda's Lullaby. Now that always hits at a very personal level, and it always basically just brings me to tears because it's such a beautiful game and such a beautiful world that you really don't want to say goodbye. You don't want to have to leave. You don't want to go. And
Oh man, I feel you there. If a game's that
it,
good, you want it to continue.
and then the game sort of tries to sort of cradle you in. It's kind of like tries to give you the sense that maybe it's not so bad that the game has finally ended because after the Zelda's Lullaby song is done, we get an aerial shot of Lon Lon Ranch and we see that all the people that were missing, they're not gone. They've just gathered at Lon Lon Ranch and they're having a party. They're celebrating the defeat of Ganondorf, and you basically get the sense that these people are now free. You freed them from tyranny, and this is your reward. You get to see that these people can lead happy lives thanks to the actions that you've done, and it makes you feel good on the inside
Mm-hmm.
because if as long as basically you kept stalling and not finishing the game, these people would continue to live under tyranny, and well, that's not right.
No.
But then, of course, even though that ends on a happy note, once the credits are over, you get the post-credits scene, which really hits you with a whole lot of emotional feels. We see Link beamed back into the Temple of Time as a child again, and the Master Sword is back in the Pedestal of Time, implying that Link has been sent back to right before he took it, and so therefore he doesn't have to go to the future anymore. And so this scene, it implies that because the adventure is done, the duties to everything is done, and it has gone relatively unexplained over the years. People speculate, people have their theories, but for some reason, without any sort of word or hint as to her motivations, Navi decides to up and leave, to just fly out of the stained glass window without saying a word to Link, and she's gone. Link doesn't seem too all that nonplussed about it, but I know that a lot of people found Navi to be annoying, but I honestly didn't hate her all that much. I found her to just be the only amicable and friendly voice that you had throughout most of the game, and she was someone who was always there. So the idea
Yeah.
that basically at the end you part ways with your companion, it's always kind of like this sad little thing that you realize that yeah, the adventure really is over, and now what do you do?
Yeah, that does sound like a sad moment. I've
Especially,
had. Mm,
especially considering that there are so many other theories as to what the reason as to why Navi left, and I tell you, none of them are implying that there's a happy ending involved there. But one last thing, the moment that really gets me is the moment that happens after this. It's the final moment that ends out Ocarina of Time. It's where you cut back to the courtyard and you see young Princess Zelda by the window and Link walking up to meet her. Basically, a kind of like a recreation of their first meeting from the game, and it plays out relatively the same way. And to me, that sort of strikes me as it's such a good moment that Link wanted to live it all over again, and that's why he went back to see her. And that's where the game ends. It freezes on that frame of them meeting for the first time, and then states, Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, thank you for playing. To me, that is the sign of a video game that is actually a piece of art, because that is a very powerful moment to me.
oh man, I don't. Yeah, I understand you there. I've had my moments of crying in a game, but hey, Awesome, what moment in a video game do you remember makes you cry the most?
I can't remember anything off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
Okay, well
I'm sure I have. It's just that my memory is just not working too good right now.
for me, and I got many witnesses to this. The main thing that got me crying the most is a moment in Shadowbringers.
Oh.
I'm a witness. I can attest to this.
Yeah, I was flat out bawling to this moment. Do you mind if I spoil a little bit, Link?
Go ahead.
Okay, and to those who are just entering in and have not played uh, Shadowbringers up to this point, go and get yourself like a drink, take a long while for a snack because this is indeed spoiler territory for an expansion that's like over 3 years old at this point. Okay?
God, it feels so old.
Yeah, I know. It feels like it was only yesterday that it came out. Okay, there's a couple of moments in Shadowbringers that actually got me crying, but the main one that got me bawling the most um, was this moment, was this like surprising moment in Shadowbringers when it was revealed who the Crystal Exarch was and what he plans to do. We managed to beat all the Light Wardens, but then all of a sudden things started going horribly wrong for our character since we absorbed the light within us. We started turning into a creature called a Sin Eater, which is a creature caused by people who absorb way too much light. There we go, got the bottom done. So basically, for the longest time, the people believed that with us like absorbing all the light from the Wardens, the world of Norbrant, which is the world of the First, would be safe. But of course, as mentioned, it was going horribly wrong. We started changing because we couldn't hold the light within too long. Then the Exarch came and decided to take the light for himself, and his plan was to fling himself into like this interdimensional area and sacrifice himself in order to get rid of the light. Even though we had this moment beforehand where he wanted to have some adventures with us. Because the Crystal Exarch is a character that came from the Crystal Tower raids named Grahatia. And we haven't seen him because he had himself locked up in the Crystal Tower for so gosh darn long since the base game. But then that moment was ruined when the main villain of the game, Emmett Cell, came by, shot him to knock him out, and then capture him in order to lure us over to where Amarant was. And that's when the climax of the game happened. That was one. That was the earliest moment that made me cry in that game. The second moment started happening after we went through all of Amarat. Now, that's where we learned about the origins of the Ashians. That they were originally the creators of the world. That, and then of course something happened. This apocalyptic moment known as the final days started happening. Every horrible creature started appearing, and people were dying. So it was then that we learned that it was also how Zodiac and Hydaelyn were created. They were once two ancients. Zodiac was created to try to stop the final days. But then Hydaelyn came around and went to defeat Zodiac in order to stop him. There's more to it, but that is more spoiler territory for Endwalker. Anyways, after learning about all that, we go to face Emmett Selk in order to get back Rahatia. And it was then we learned that our character was once one of his dearest friends in those days, because we meet up with the shade of another friend of his named Hythlodius. The three of them had a strong friendship together. But our character, who was known as Azem at the time, rejected the idea of Zodiac. And things started falling apart from there with their friendship. So Emmett Self, driven by grief and sadness for what has happened to his friends and his home, that's when he and the rest of the Ashians, who was once like the main governing body, the Convocation of 14, decided to, of course, create Zodiac. And then they decided to, like, continue on as the Ashians in order to try to stop Hydaelyn and set things as they were. Like I said, all driven by sadness, madness, and grief. So he decided to give us one last chance to try to stop him. And after all that, we do defeat him with the help of our friends and a spirit that was with us the whole time throughout the game named Artbert, who was one of the heroes of Light at the first. We managed to defeat him, and before he fades away, he shows us his face one more time with one final request. And that request was, remember that we once lived. Trust me, when you see everything that happened before then, you'll understand why I easily cried. Shadowbringers was very emotional. The last one that really got me going in Shadowbringers was when we were fighting Elidibus, who was Zodiac. Yeah, and at the end, because beforehand we ended up getting all these special little memory stones of his former friends, with one that was like made specially for us, for our character back as Azem, but we never got it because, of course, with the whole Zodiac thing, our character left the convocation. Anyways, through there, we collected all these memory stones to get what was the final thoughts of the convocation as the final days were happening. That even include Emmett Selks. Elidibus was also one of these members. And like I said, the heart of pretty much Zodiac hit its heart. At the end, though, after we defeated him as he took on a vision of the OG Warrior of Light, we see that, shockingly enough, he was literally the youngest member. No more than, like, a teenager at the time. So we given him the stones for all of his friends, and he started crying just as it began raining. And he looks up before being sealed away into the crystal tower, saying that there's a beautiful rain happening, but you are not here to see it. That goes to show, but at the same time, he's also kind of relieved that he was free. That goes to show how much the final days really affected the Ashians. They're not really the bad guys. They were just trying to restore what was once was. And when you see all those moments as a whole, including some stuff that happened afterwards, you'll understand why I was flat out bawling. I'm a very emotional person, I'm not gonna lie. And those moments really got me. Plus I'm an Endwalker, but I am not gonna be spoiling on that. You gotta witness those for yourself.
Sounds beautiful.
Oh, tell me about it. It was really beautiful. And to think, one of the earliest moments for me was the ending of Pokemon X and Y.
Ah.
Yeah, that one moment where Floette and AZ were finally reunited after God knows how long. That got me teary-eyed a little. Trust me. A lot of the historical events in X and Y started up because of this guy's love for his Floette. But when she realized that it was that caused him to create a weapon of mass destruction, she left him. But after he finally understood and pretty much understood what he did wrong at last, she came back and it was a happy and teary reunion. Recommend that game if you ever want to play another Pokemon game.
Well,
I admit the rest of
I've got the DS emulator working.
Yeah, this was on 3DS, by the way. Yeah, so even though I admit some of the story falls a little flat, it's got a lot of nice features in it, and that ending, whoo, Nelly! That really got me.
It's usually always the endings of games that really hit us with a big emotional impact. But, Chaos, have you managed to think up one yet?
Nope, sorry, I've had a headache all day since I woke up this morning, so I think that might be interfering with my ability to remember properly.
Oh,
Get yourself
sorry.
a soda. The caffeine will help.
The thing was,
soda.
Yeah, he pretty much swore off on soda. That's been like that for a long time.
Well, how about some coffee?
He's actually. Did you swear off completely off of caffeine there, Chaos? Oh! I just realized I'm over $900.
She's over
Nice.
900!
Let's see here. Two.
Woo!
Finally! A much needed upgrade. And let's see, two. Oh, I got enough change to get the nozzle here. Boop. Now let's see here.
Well, this thing better be worth it. That was the entire month's rent.
Oh, look at this bad boy! The Urban X U2. Let's see. Oh, look at how that thing cleans.
Wow.
That's a lot better than my old one. Yeah, I just gotta build up the stars in order to get the next one up. Look at that! That was so quick!
Yeah.
Ah, much needed upgrade.
Huzzah!
Well, I've got another one.
Oh?
Here's one that doesn't necessarily happen at the ending of the game, as in, like, not the last thing that you see, like, before the credits roll, but it is something that's very emotional, something that the entire game was working towards. But there is a little bit of game left after this, so I didn't exactly experience this from a game. Instead, I actually ended up watching the entire thing. It's the ending of Kingdom Hearts 352 over 2 days.
Oh my god, yes!
Yep,
I
358 over 2 days.
Oh my god.
That game, well, I ended up watching it mostly as a movie of cutscenes because that's how it's packaged in the. Which game was it? The 1.2.1 that collection series. So I honestly didn't expect all that much from it, but it's so amazing because the one thing that Kingdom Hearts has going for it, even though the story is incredibly convoluted, the characters and the stuff that they go through is actually so complex that it really makes it all worth it. Because basically the entire Kingdom Hearts franchise can seriously hit you with the feels, especially when you're not expecting it. So the plot of this game is it basically explains the story of what happened to Sora's body after he became a Heartless back in Kingdom Hearts 1.
Oh yeah,
His bo-
Roxas.
Yep, his body became a nobody in the form of Roxas that popped up in Twilight Town. That's the one, right? And he gets recruited into Organization 13 because they want to control Sora's ability to use the Keyblade. Because as long as they can control the Keyblade wielder, they can destroy as many Heartless as possible and thus power up Kingdom Hearts to its maximum. And, well, Roxas ends up becoming really close with another organization member, the organization member Axel. Yeah, I refer to him as Hedgehog Bro because his hairstyle reminds me of Sonic the Hedgehog, and he is such a bro. So
I know.
he sort
We're
of yeah. The throughout the game, you see that he sort of takes Roxas under his wing, acting like a older brother slash best friend for him, and you start to get Roxas coming out of his shell. And they always basically hang out together at the clock tower in Twilight Town and have some sea salt ice cream. But then things start to get a bit complicated when Organization 13 introduces their 14th member. Yep, yeah, this strange, really quiet girl called Shion. Initially, she only has her hood up, but as she ends up connecting with Roxas, she starts letting her hood down, and he sees that she bears a striking resemblance to Kairi. And yet, strangely enough, to Axel, she doesn't take her hood down for the longest time, but that's the point.
Oh.
That's not the point. So, the three of them really end up becoming good close friends, and you want to read that?
Yeah, Calvin decided to poke me. Oh, for God's sake. Here we go. Let's see here. Messages. How do I get to my messages? Well, let's see. Oh, here it is. Chat bubble. Do, 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 do. I just had it. Give me a second. Oh, here we go. Ma keeps messaging me. They're getting really excited with how it's looking. Sounds like it's doing great. Ah, that's
Yeah,
sweet.
it's moving along quite quickly too.
Yeah. Ever since I got the Urban X, I'm going along a little more smoothly. This is what I needed. A much needed upgrade. Anyways, continue.
So yeah, it's clear that throughout the course of the game, Axel, Roxas, and Shion all start becoming close together. So they form kind of like their own trio, almost like they're the new Sora, Roxas, what Sora, Kairi, and Riku in a lot of ways. And I think it's clear that Roxas is kind of crushing on Shion a little bit. But I ultimately, I don't know, it's either here or there. They can be friends, they can be more. The point is, for some reason, Roxas starts getting sick, and Shion starts getting sent on the missions that he was supposed to get sent on, and the other organization members don't really seem to care all that much, until basically it's revealed at the end of the game what is actually going on. see, Shion isn't a real nobody, nor is she an actual person. She's actually a replica that was created by Vexen. He's basically the creepy uncle of the group. Yeah, he's the guy with the ice shield.
The
He
mad
was
scientist, yeah.
she was created. Well, if she is a she, that's the thing. She could actually be anything. It really depends on what she currently has going for her. The way that it goes is that she is actually designed as a sponge. She is supposed to basically absorb the power and memories of a person that she's currently supposed to target, which is why the organization had her getting close to Roxas, because they realized that with Roxas being as emotional as he was, they weren't going to be able to control him and thus control Sora's power for long. So they ended up giving Shion some of the memories of some of Sora's memories that they stole during the Castle Oblivion incident and gave them to Shion, so she started absorbing some of Sora's power, and they had her stay close to Roxas so that she could absorb the rest of Sora's power from him. So that's really like one of the most shocking parts of like near the end when Shion finally confesses everything that she's learned about herself and how it changes her appearance, because effectively speaking, she looked like a girl to Roxas because that's currently like what she was absorbing. She was absorbing some of Kyrie's memories. It's like a whole thing. But now that she's absorbed so many of Sora's memories and his powers, she now resembles Sora. And she tells Roxas that he has to fight her and defeat her so that Sora can get his memories and his powers back. And now, that's basically what it is. You have to basically fight your friend, this character that you've grown to know and care about throughout most of the game, and they're basically asking you to pretty much kill them. And what's even worse is that she makes the claim that once she disappears that he won't even remember her to begin with, but that doesn't end up being true because Roxas does remember her because he has Sora's memories as well, meaning that, well, in order for Sora to gain his powers and his memories back, in order for Sora to wake up, Roxas is going to have to give up himself as well, just as Shion is doing here. So that scene at the end when Shion is basically dying in Roxas's arms and starting to disappear, and he's remembering everything, claiming that he's never going to forget, it's really a heart-wrenching, gut-punching moment, because you basically realize that I thought that this guy was going to be a side character in a spin-off game, especially considering that he's basically like an enemy that Sora has to fight in Kingdom Hearts 2. They're making me care so much about this guy, it's incredible.
I know!
You really do feel for him, because it does kind of feel unfair. Roxas doesn't know a thing about what's going on. He doesn't know who Sora is, and he's basically thinking, why should I have to give up my own life so that this guy can basically have his back? And why did my friend have to die for this Sora guy? So, it really was such an emotional moment. You really did grow to care for all these characters, especially Axel. Axel only has the faintest idea of what's going on, but all he can really think about is how much he wants his two friends back. He wants all three of them, Shion, Roxas, and himself, up there on the tower eating sea salt ice cream. And he'll do anything to basically make that happen.
You know, that's kind of Axel's situation is kind of like how I described Emmett Selk before. Emmett Selk wanted everything to go back to the way it was, to have those precious moments with his friends, Azem and Hathlodius again.
Yep.
Consequences be darned.
And I think that's ultimately what's kind of sad, because in Kingdom Hearts 2, the organization members keep referring to Sora as Roxas, and even Axel basically tries, because he's hoping that some part of his friend is somewhere there inside Sora, so He just wants to get him to come out again.
And of course, he
But
confesses this to Sora at the end after they
yeah,
fight.
but
And Axel basically sacrifices himself to let him into the organization's hideout.
yep, give them all one last chance. But yeah, when I watched the scene where Shion starts to disappear, I literally paused the cutscene and then I just started crying. Like, literally, like, Timon and Pumbaa levels of crying right there because it
yeah,
was
yeah,
so.
yeah. Trust me, that really got me too. Not to the same level as those moments in Shadowbringers. No, I was flat out bawling for those ones. But even I got emotional when I finally saw those scenes. And I played the game because my sister has it.
I know
It,
it's kind of cheating to pretty much ask this, but LC, can you remember for any time that I cried during a game? I'm trying my damnedest to recall. I know I have.
I think you definitely got close to crying in some of those moments in Shadowbringers and Endwalker, especially that one final cutscene in Endwalker before the main story ended.
Mm,
I think you got close. You didn't flat out start bawling. I think you at least got a little misty eyed. I would describe the scene even more, but A, that's spoiler territory. And it's too epic to just describe with words.
mm.
mm.
So do you have another one, LT?
No, that's pretty much all I can think of. You know what? Let's start with happy moments. What was our favorite happier moment that made us, smile?
Can it be a happy moment that literally turns into a sad moment?
No, 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 just full out 100% happy moments because I think we're done with the sad moments.
Because I recently had a very happy moment in gaming that started out with me laughing hysterically. Like, think Rafiki from The Lion King when he realizes Simba is alive. That kind of laughter
Oh,
that's filled with
jeez.
such hope and bewilderment. And,
Okay, I'll make one exception. What is it?
well, unfortunately, I don't think I can tell you because that whole scene, it basically starts out with me laughing, but by the end of it, I end up just breaking down into tears of joy at how happy I am. So,
Jeez.
the problem is that it's a video that's going to be uploaded to YouTube in, I don't know,
Ah,
maybe about a week or so. So, if you guys want to
okay.
find out what it is, you'll have to watch it there.
Dang. Well, do you have a moment that you can tell that isn't going to be in the video?
Well, hmm. I'm pretty sure that basically most of the scenes were in Doom games where I get the BFG. I suppose maybe that counts, but I don't.
Let's see.
I don't really think that it's basically all that much in terms of like too emotionally hitting, like too so overjoyed because it's a scripted event. And don't get me wrong, I feel like with the games, like most games that being scripted events, I'm more or less okay with that. But I feel like when the game basically puts you on a path where you get the BFG, it's not nearly as powerful as basically having to explore everything, find all the secrets, and hopefully come across the BFG in the wild. So let me think. Alright, I think that basically, like, this could be a moment that I think kind of reaches that level of emotional high for me. How does it go? I mean, basically obtaining the weapon that is stronger than the BFG. The one that basically hasn't been seen in the Doom franchise for basically almost basically
It's not.
almost 20 years. So,
Dang.
case in
Okay,
point.
Sorry, Calvin just said that his dad is actually taking a look in his rocking chair.
That's
Must
funny.
must be on the inside.
Yep. You know what? I
So,
think I've got enough money for another attachment for this thing. Give me a second. Yeah. Or not. Dang. I just need another $10. Anyways, continue.
Well, in Doom Eternal, there is basically a set of challenges across 6 specific levels of the game. And in these challenges are these special gateways called the Slayer Gates that lead to a special challenge. The gates are sealed and can only be opened by a special key, which you need to find somewhere in the level. Once you open up the gate and go in, and you activate the challenge, you are basically barraged by a gauntlet of enemies that basically are meant to test your skills and abilities, and they always throw stronger monsters that you have yet to encounter in the campaign at you, so that you can be caught off guard. Yeah, this is basically how you get introduced to certain characters in the game. Less dramatically than I'd like, but when I
If it works, it works.
If it works, I suppose. The point is that you do these challenges, and when you do, you get a key as a reward. These are the Empyrean keys, and the goal is to collect all 6 of them. And so, of course, I knew that basically, like, doing these challenges, well, of course they would be a challenge, so I would set myself to the challenge to see if I could do them, especially because the reward was something that was a long time coming in the Doom franchise that I'm really glad that they acknowledged after all this time. Because the 6 Empyrean keys are basically used to unlock a little energy field, a little energy cage on the Fortress of Doom, which houses the one weapon, or at least the one gun, that's more powerful than the BFG. A gun that so far had only appeared once in the franchise from an underappreciated Black Sheep entry of the franchise, which people have come to realize is basically one of the best entries and is the unofficial Doom 3. The Unmaker from Doom 64. This thing was powerful. This thing, basically, it was some kind of demonic gun that basically fed on the energy of the evil in whatever it was targeting. So as long as you were targeting a demon from hell, it was certain that it was going to be powerful. It feeds off the energy that they have in their bodies and fires it back at them as a deadly bullet. And the best part about the original Unmaker is that it could be upgraded. Throughout Doom 64, if you basically found the secret levels and got past all the puzzles, you found 3 demon emblems. And these symbols were not only essential to helping you defeat the final boss of the game, defeat the final challenge, but they also power up the Unmaker. Because when you first get the Unmaker, it only shoots 1 beam and has a very slow rate of fire, so you think, okay, maybe it's not that good. With each emblem that you get, the rate of fire increases and it shoots out more lasers, to the point where if you get all 3 emblems, the Unmaker basically becomes a triple shot death ray that can basically take down the strongest demons in a matter of seconds.
So basically, you're upgrading the laser meme.
Basically. So, so the fact that they brought it back for Doom Eternal was very hype. They redesigned it to basically fit in with the Maker culture that they basically added to the story, but it still has the same basic shape. I just kind of wish that they'd release a skin for it that lets it look like how it did in Doom 2016, being made out of demon flesh and bones and everything, because that would be cool. And so, doing the Slayer Gates and finding the Slayer Keys, that was a good enough challenge, and I definitely had, I think I had the most fun doing the Slayer challenges. In fact, I kind of wish that basically you could go back and redo them in the campaign just so that you could have fun doing them over again. So, but
apparently the developers of Doom Eternal seem to be allergic to fun.
A little bit, kind of. So, I definitely, when I got the final Empyrean key and beat the final Slayer Gate, I just felt so accomplished because I knew I was gonna go back to the the Fortress of Doom, and after this level, and I was gonna be able to unlock the gate. And well, that's basically it, and was just in time for the final 3 levels of the game. And they tell you this will be the last time you come back to the Fortress of Doom, so is there anything that you haven't done yet? So, like putting in the keys and unlocking the energy cage, and the gun floats down to you, and then Samuel Hayden starts talking, the Unmaker, a weapon of devastating power. It's so incredible.
Yeah, that euphoric feeling getting like that ultimate weapon or that secret weapon. Yeah, that's a fun moment right there. Let's see. What would be one of the moments that makes me happy? Oh, this is like an early game thing, but for Final Fantasy 14, yeah, you got that done. This is like minor spoilers for the Summoner story, but basically between levels 70 to 80, you are like trying to solve the mystery of one of the first summoners of Alec. And at the end of that, you get to a chance to upgrade a skill of yours called Dragon Trance.
Dragon Trans? You
Yeah,
transform into a dragon?
sort of. It is basically the catalyst that allows you to summon the Demi Bahamut. Once you get through that, defeat some of the bosses, the challenges left behind by Alec, and you can finally like do Demi Bahamut from level 60. No, it was level 60 to 70. I'm sorry. Yeah, you get Phoenix at level 80. But once you get that and you start using the Bahamut summon for the first time, it's just that euphoric feeling. And then, of course, Shadowbringers decide to upgrade it to allow you to summon a Demi Phoenix. Let it be known to never mess with the summoners. Look at that! All's up, just the roof!
Yep.
Woohoo! Alright, let's get this ladder up. What was a happy moment you can like try to remember there, Chaos?
Let's see. I think a moment of joy that I can remember, not specifically from 14. I think it was the. For a little bit of background context, once upon a time, I was playing For Honor's campaign mode on Realistic, which is the hardest difficulty because A, the UI that tells you when an attack is coming in is gone, and B, me and Gat just got the game and we were playing as assassins, which don't have a permanent guard, making it all that much harder to deal with the final boss, Polion, who loved stabbing us, plus with her two-handed sword. It got to the point that the fight, because we were taking the cowardly route and reviving each other when one of us fell, it took us well over an hour to actually get to like the final part. And as a part of it, we came to the conclusion that that dang fight, which took so long, that the music stopped looping itself. It just straight up stopped. And so, naturally, when I finally noticed this, I was like, Apollyon, you B word. And hit her with an attack that she did not block, and it turns out was the last one needed to actually finish her off. And Gat and I just exploded in joy.
Oh
Because
yeah,
that
I
was
was.
draining our stamina mentally and physically.
Oh yeah, I think I was listening in on that. I was like playing a different game at the time, and you guys just flat out exploded in joy in my ears, and I was like, "What the heck?"
Oh yeah. Nothing quite like having this hard challenge and spending so long at it to finally have all that time and effort pay off with a win. Not the fastest win, not the most skillful of wins, but a win, and that's all that matters.
Oh man, that euphoric feeling. Let's see here.
Yep. Reminds me of when I finally beat Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
Yeah, a game series I will never touch with a 5 foot pole, let alone
But
a
you'll
10 foot
certainly
one.
watch. But you'll watch plenty of videos on it, though.
Yeah, I got a very interesting love-hate relationship with the FNAF franchise. And
Oh,
no,
believe
even
me,
if you pay me $1 million, you're not going to make me play those games. Not even a billion.
Well, I could definitely tell you a little something about a love-hate relationship with that series. I'll definitely tell you that.
I like the fan content. I do not like the games itself because me and horror don't mix. Like I said, the extent of my horror experiences will stick with Bendy. That's it.
I think another time where I basically like a moment of pure gaming, not necessarily euphoria or bliss, but just satisfaction, would be this one time, because let me just basically say one word to you guys that basically can sum up the kind of challenge that I'm dealing with. Capcom.
Oh God!
Yep, you know you're in for a treat this time. So,
Got the chimney done.
effectively, Capcom is known for making really tough games, and, well, the the challenge of that games is the challenge of the game is really part of the appeal. So one game that I definitely remember playing for the Super Nintendo was a little something called Demon's Crest. It takes place in the same canon world as the Ghosts and Goblins franchise, except this time you actually play as uh, one of the ghoul ghost characters, a gargoyle, basically the red armor. That basically, like, if any of you guys have played the Ghosts and Goblins or Super Ghouls and Ghosts, the red devils that give you so much trouble, yeah, you're actually playing as that guy.
Oh yeah, if I
So,
recall correctly, the Game Boy version is actually released on the emulator.
yep. And it's a Demon's Crest is actually the sequel to the two Gargoyle Quest games, which also star that character. So,
Huh.
so Demon's Crest is kind of like the third in the trilogy. The whole point of the game is that uh, but the character that you're playing as, the red armor demon Firebrand, he basically is going around collecting the the demon crests in order to basically further his own power, because he likes the idea of the challenge of having to fight off all the strongest demons of the land to get them. Meanwhile, the bad guy of the game, a demon called Phalanx, he wants to collect all the demon's crests to give himself greater power so that he can basically subjugate not just the demon world, but also the human world as well. So, the throughout the game, you basically collect the other demon's crests that allow you to basically transform into different sort of elemental demon forms, and then at the end, you basically come to a final showdown with Phalanx himself, where basically he transforms into a giant demonic monster form, and you basically have to fight him while also playing a literal game of the floor is lava.
Oh jeez.
It's definitely a very tricky and tough fight, I'll give you that, and it definitely took me a while to beat it. The thing that they don't tell you is that Demon's Crest is actually one of those games that has multiple endings. So, depending on how many crests that you go into the final battle with, and depending on how well you fight, it determines the final outcome of the ending of the game. But not only that, is that Phalanx actually isn't the final challenge. He's the final boss in the story of the game, but as it turns out, there is something far worse out there. Because by defeating Phalanx or something, you basically awaken the Dark Demon. This skeletal, three-faced monstrosity with several arms. And now that he's awake, he wants the Demon Crests for himself, and you're the only thing that's standing in his way. So, now that Phalanx is defeated, you've got to defeat this guy. And the worst part about it is that, well, I would say that part of the challenge from Demon's Crest comes from the fact of how slow your character is. And you start out with a very slow rate of fire. In fact, it's one of those games where if you shoot to fire an attack, your character freezes in place, which could leave you open for an attack. And of course, basically like flying controls and mechanics are also very difficult. It's a game that you really have to get used to very quickly because the learning curve is very high. Literally, it's one of those games where the first opponent that you actually fight in the game is actually the first boss of the game. So, if you're gonna learn by trial of fire one way or another.
Oh, Lord Almighty.
Here's what I remember about the Dark Demon. Now, the thing about it is, whenever you fight regular opponents in this game, whenever you hit them, they briefly flash a white color to indicate that they've been hit. And as the fight goes on, their sprite eventually turns red to indicate that they're very low on health. The Dark Demon doesn't do this. I mean, he does turn red in the later stages of the battle, but every single time you hit him, he doesn't flash white. So it's meant to basically make you think, am I actually hitting this guy or not? What if I'm actually missing all this time? Because the game isn't going to give you an indication that anything that you're doing is actually working. So, but more than that, the Dark Demon flies. He flies around the chamber that you're fighting in, meaning that you have to fly in order to hit him, because his only weak point is his face. If you don't hit his face, it's not doing anything, and you gotta basically fly around and keep up with him as he's moving very quickly in order to actually hit him in the face. But even more than that, the walls of this room, I can't remember exactly. I think that they're either covered in spikes or covered in red energy that damages you, so you can't get too close to the walls either. So, you have to be in the air, you can't land on the ground, you can't touch the walls, and you gotta move around in order to keep up with this thing, because if you don't, he's just basically going to obliterate you in just a few hits. Yeah. Like, I really hope that you found all the health power-ups that you can throughout the game, because you're going to need them. And make sure that you fill up on your potions vial with healing potions, because you're going to need those as well. The Dark Demon was basically one of the toughest challenges I had ever faced. I'm pretty sure it took me 2 solid weeks from the time that I actually made it to him to actually beat him.
Oh.
But... And I'm pretty sure that that's the first time I ever broke a keyboard. Yeah, because, like, every single time...
Those things are not cheap!
They're not. They really aren't. Like, because I just remember I was hitting the X and Z buttons so frequently that after I beat that game, I finally beat the Dark Demon, I noticed, hey, my X and Z button aren't working anymore. Like, I keep pressing them and they're not doing anything. But when he finally went down and was defeated, I literally just threw up my hands and cheered, yes! I did it! I beat him! It was definitely one of the most adrenaline-fueled moments that I've had playing a game. Not necessarily a moment of euphoric bliss, but basically one that was satisfying, because it really felt like, after all that work, I finally got something accomplished.
Thank goodness. Yeah. Reminds me of the time I was trying to go through these swamps to get to this one dragon when I was playing Spyro. And I kept And I ended in loops and loops around those charging ramps just to get to the dude. That was a frustrating moment. Not as frustrating as trying to get through the Wulong demo. I'm still mad at that game.
Oh yeah. I'm still a little bit ticked at the thing that it did.
Yeah, the game would have been made so much easier if it told us about that spirit attack thing ahead of time. But no! The
Link
Ninja
for a little
Gaiden
bit
boys
of-
decided to hide it.
Yep. For a little bit extra context, there's a fight, especially for someone else, is that there's a fight going on, the first boss of the game, which just so happens to be one of the hardest of the entire demo, which I think is dumb. But it was supposedly for Phase 2, so that way you can specifically use the special Guardian Spirit X ability, which apparently demolishes the guy's health by quite a bit. The problem, naturally, come from other than the NPC yelling out, "Use the Jade!" There's no button prompt or anything, it's a thing that pops up. But even though it pops up where it does, it just makes things more confusing because you need a different set of buttons to actually activate the damn thing.
So it's not exactly as intuitive as "Get up on the Hydra's back."
Yeah,
Pretty much.
yeah, pretty much. Like I actually managed to do that fight the first time. I did not know about that Guardian Spirit thing, so I did it myself. But I'm a lot better at using the flex than LT is in that game.
Yeah, I was button mashing like crazy, and on top of all that, this is made by the same company that did Neo 2.
Yep.
Yeah, I would certainly say that you definitely do not want to button mash when on the defensive.
That's the thing, though. You guys basically find that when you're in a high-stress, panicky situation, the button mashing just kind of happens.
That does happen.
I mean, I'm basically watching other people play these games, and I have no idea how they can stay that calm under pressure. Of course, then I found out that the ones who basically do that whole quick weapon swap that basically makes it seem like they're going between 4 weapons a second, I found out that it turns out that they're using a quick swap mod, and not the kind of mod that the game actually gives you, one that you have to download and install on the game yourself.
Which is just stupid. The only time I actually use mods in a game is like texture packs for Minecraft.
Now, if only I could somehow prove that all those a-holes in battle mode were using aim bots.
Oh god, that's just as worse as using an X-ray cheat to find diamonds in Minecraft.
But even, like, I've basically come across a few cheaters. Like, I kid you not, I'm pretty sure that Chaos knows this story, but he's probably forgotten about it. Basically, a few years ago, when I was playing Doom Eternal's battle mode, I was playing on the demon team because, well, truth be told, it's actually kind of easier to play as the demons than it is as a slayer, as long as you have a good partner working with you. You get the roof?
I got the roof! This upgrade was needed, and look at that!
Nice.
I haven't even hit 2 hours yet!
Excellent! We're only 1 hour and 15 minutes in.
I'm feeling good! I feel like reaching for the stars! I feel like...
I feel good.
The bungalow looks
Feel like
amazing,
playing
Doc.
Sonic Colors?
Thank you. Yeah. You won't believe the impact it had. Ma's down in the woods picking flowers and Pops is muttering excitedly about another job he's got for you. So if you hear from a Leonard Miller, that'll be him. Will do, Calvin. Will do. Okay.
And you've got 30 stars.
30 stars? I'll need... Which means
Claim the
I am just... Hang on. Hang on. I need 10 more to get this bad boy. The Prime Vista 3000.
But
Oh
you also
boy.
need money.
Yep. Yeah, which costs about $2,000. But hey, I can handle it. Now let's see
Can you
here.
actually sell the old equipment that you don't need anymore?
No, unfortunately.
It's a...
Let's see here. Well, I got enough for the Irvin X2 long extension, which I will quickly buy. And I'm feeling good. Let's see. No, not that one. There we go. Let's go to Mars.
Mars?
Mars! Because
Well, if you...
naturally, actually, as a
Well, if you...
local neighborhood cleaning person, then the expenses to traveling all the way to Mars and back within a week is naturally in the cards.
If you find any junk up there with a UAC branded label on it, yeah, yeah, I might have left some of that behind.
Thank. If I do, I'll let you know. Woo! Whoa! Nice big jump. Um,
What are those?
they look like alien tracks. I'm gonna go take a quick look-see.
And they get joined by...
A mystery hatch with a green alien gnome.
I knew it.
That is adorable. Okay, well.
Cleaning all that red dust off of it.
Plot twist, the gnome is actually the alien, just remaining perfectly still.
It'd be funny if it had just one big, gigantic alien foot.
Yeah.
And just all those prints were made because it was hopping around.
Ooh, drone! Drone, come here.
Imagine if we just see a Martian cat here as well.
I think it'd be funnier if we saw the tabby cat that we're looking for.
Meow! How did you get here? Meow!
Whee! Jump. Jump.
Well, we haven't found water on Mars, but we're certainly going to find it now.
There we go.
So you know that you
buddy.
basically...
Stay there.
You know that you basically just stole some guy's lawn gnome, right?
Yeah, he'll find it back again. I'm not gonna get it too far away from the rover. Jeez, this thing really picked up a lot of dust while it was up here. Lots of little nitty-gritty details on this bad boy.
Mm-hmm.
And look at that,
Wait,
I'm getting some
is that a-
bonus cash.
Is that an alien parking brake?
I think it is!
It's an alien parking brake.
Oh no, it's just a tire clamp to keep it from, like, rolling away.
Yeah, but it's triangle shaped like that like
Oh,
the
like that
hatch
mystery
thing lives
hatch,
in.
yeah.
And the
NASA's run by
tracks literally
Martians
come
confirmed.
right
Let's see.
Well,
Well,
it's a
good
parking
news.
boot. It's a parking boot. That's what it is.
Well, good news. I do not see any demons of hell, so. I think you did a good job cleaning up Mars there.
Yep. Shame I had to go and blow a hole in it.
Well, to be fair, someone said not to, so naturally.
Yeah.
Problem is, this dang parking boot is making it difficult for me to get it. There we go. Get the dang tire clean. Especially the spokes. Okay, what am I bumping? Oh, that thing. There we go. Finally got the wheel hub done. Why do I need to put Sylvia and I could just do that? Whee! Low gravity, baby! One small step for man, one giant leap for power washers.
1 second.
And yet you brought a step ladder anyway.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. do 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 do. But yeah, outside of, well, Wulong, what was another frustrating moment in a game I had? Let's see. You know, I think I can't think of too many others because... Oh yeah, there was that Boris fight.
You mean from Bendy and the Ink Machine?
Yeah.
Didn't it glitch out on you?
It kinda did, yeah. Which was all kinds of stupid. And there's still glitches in that game to this day.
Yep.
Whee! Yeah, and then of course the whole ending credits glitched on me. I no longer have that copy of the game though because of like what happened. That plus I didn't see myself playing it too often, so I sold it to like a local used game store that's like near my place and got laundry change out of it. Is it counting the other side too? Yes, it is. There we go. It was totally counting the other side. Alright. Time for the camera. Oh, that's an X-ray spectrometer. All the dings. Sorry, NASA, didn't mean to do that. Just want to make sure everything was absolutely clean.
Nice and squeaky clean.
And hey, at least with this clean, in case the you-know-what opens up again, they'll have a warning.
Yep, I bet the images won't be all that good, and they probably won't do anything about it until it's too late.
Yep. Ain't that always the way?
It is. Frustratingly so. I mean, I know that the whole point of the first game is that you were left behind, and while the rest of the security team went in without you, they got eaten for it. But still, I feel like with the second game, there was more of an excuse why you basically showed up late for the invasion, because it literally took you a time and a half just to get back to Earth.
Yep, I mean, Mars isn't just exactly like
A hop skip.
Yep.
I mean, now that I think about it, I think that the only Doom guys that were actually on the scene literally immediately as the invasion happened were the Doom 3 variants. That's really weird to say.
Mm-hmm.
The closest is probably the Plutonia experiment, where he's basically the security chief that's over supervising this experiment going on in the Congo, but you know what? It's his day off. He's going to the beach. Then the portals start opening up. Do we have to do this now? I just got comfy.
Now, where are the hazard cameras?
Alright, I'm back. Sorry for the abrupt departure.
Yeah, no
Really?
worries.
Yeah, my mother fell down the stairs, so I had to go text see if she was alright.
Oh, no.
She is.
Okay. Okay, seriously, where are these hazard cameras?
I really hope that they're not on the drone. Isn't your mom in New Hampshire?
No, she's right next to me. They come back today. Well, she's not next to me, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, pfft. They're right here. You! $90 in the bag.
Excellent. Now get me off this
Specialist.
planet.
I forgot to turn off though. Oh dear, I forgot to turn off the notifications. Whoops, sorry about the black monitor there. Okay. Well, we still got about 30 minutes. I'm feeling good. Let's take care of another house. Cleaning the detached house. R. Smith and Jenny Pebbles. Cards at the table. We live at the old house at the end of Esther's death. The eccentric actors who played the Wicked Witch in that classic movie and vanished mysteriously into National Park.
Really?
We know all the rumors surrounding the place, but we also know we picked up an absolute bargain. We don't mind if the furniture moves around a little. That's just next level feng shui. But the grumpy exterior is really getting to us, and all the other power washers in town are too scared to set foot in our yard. If you would help us, we'll be eternally grateful. So, so apparently we're cleaning what is supposedly a little haunted house. Okay. Why not?
You know, I recently watched a video about mansions across like the world that the realtors literally can't give away, so they keep trying to basically like pawn them off for free. And some of them, basically, the reason why they've got no takers is because the people believe that the houses are haunted.
Okay. Well, this doesn't look too bad. Let's take a look at the back. Yeah, not too bad at all. I say once we get this cleaned up, it'll be a very charming little place. And the late actress would be pretty happy to see her old house all cleaned up.
I
Okay.
should hope so. Although with you flinging that water all around, you'd basically she certainly wouldn't like that. Melting, melting.
Might notice the odd, super weird, creepy sign on the outside of the house. It's nothing to worry about. Okay. According to Chinese research, are written in Enochian, the ancient language of the angels. I'd say it's more graffiti. Get out of here.
How weird would it be if once you washed away that symbol, something would actually be unleashed?
Well, nothing happened.
I mean, if anybody actually, knows enough to actually use the word Enochian, I don't know, that would actually give me pause. Meanwhile, you're drawing pentagrams on the
It's
on the
supposed to be a
garage.
star. I don't draw stars without doing it that way.
But
There we
yeah,
go.
my perspective is even if even if the house has a history of hauntings, if they're literally giving it away, I'll take it.
Yeah, so what's a haunted house?
There's also this really weird story where basically every single prospective owner that tried to move into the house started receiving threatening letters from the former groundskeeper who used to be the caretaker for the house. Basically, he starts stalking them and starts harassing them. So unless they basically found that guy and put him behind bars, I'd get kind of nervous about being in that one.
I take it he uses a different return address every time.
Possibly.
If they haven't found him yet, that's probably the case. Seriously, why was he obsessed? What, do you think that there's like a hidden fortune in the basement again or something?
I don't know. The video was only ever talking about why they couldn't get people to buy the house, so they didn't really go into that guy's story or his motives.
Wow.
But needless to say, because of everything and how much he seemed to know about the new owners of the house, it started making them nervous, making them feel like they were being watched at all the time.
That guy needs therapy.
Or a hobby.
Mm-hmm. He was a groundskeeper, right? He could just take up gardening. That's an easy hobby. But no, he wants to stalk some innocent people over a house that he worked at for years. Why? Who knows? They're a kitty prince!
Cat prints? Yay!
Well, we know Ulysses was through here.
Unfortunately,
The cat is the
he walked
ultimate
in this
culprit.
direction.
Yeah, it looks
Any
like
more
someone
tracks?
tried to catch the cat.
someone was in the pot. The tracks go off in this direction. Look, sir, droids.
Do 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 do. Let's see. Can we see the volcano from here? Doesn't look like it, because that volcano's giving me bad vibes. And we know we can faintly see it from Apple Street, so there's the thing. Yeah, these are some much needed upgrades.
Seems like it's doing the work a whole lot faster.
Yep. The more heavier the duty, the easier it is. At least whoever these little old ladies are, they're okay with having a haunted house. And hey, at least there's a very nice little pathway as the driveway. Woohoo! Well, at least we don't need to clean the mailbox.
Yeah. Hard to believe that out of everything, the mailbox is unscathed.
Yeah. Okay. I just thought of another one. Okay. What moment in gaming makes you like laugh or facepalm or it's just so hilariously funny you can't believe it?
I'm pretty sure that I had some moments with Kingdom Hearts. I really distinctly remember asking myself, what is this game? Several times. So, what moment just makes me laugh out loud? Well, I can't think of any from Kingdom Hearts, but I definitely know a few funny moments from Lego Jurassic World, because honestly, like, the whole thing with, like, the newer Lego games after the whole Lego Star Wars thing, basically Lego started shying away from showing characters actually dying, because for some reason they don't think that kids can actually handle that, even though kids who play the games are probably going to be fans of the movies, but whatever. So, the whole idea is that in Lego Jurassic World, across all the movies, none of the characters that get killed or eaten actually die. So they've just come up with very strange excuses as to why they somehow were able to get away from the dinosaurs. And
Oh yeah.
I remember during the Jurassic World portion of the game, the scene where Simon Masrani tries to attack the Indominus Rex with the helicopter, but the Indominus frees the Pteranodons, which cause the copter to crash into the glass dome aviary. Basically, that's a moment where you know that Simon Masrani and all the characters in the copter with him, they are definitely dead. And yet, immediately after the scene ends, it looks like they actually have died, but you see them walking out of the entrance to the aviary, and I'm like, what?
Oh man. That is funny.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, this moment's a big moment. It's actually a whole, like, side quest series in the whole game
Uh-huh.
of 14. The Hildebrand quests.
Hildebrand, of course.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you just get yourself roped up in these crazy situations with this dude. And he survived not only being frying pan launched to Dalamud by his mom, who I can honestly say is the most scariest character in Final Fantasy XIV in my entire life, and no one can tell me otherwise. Not even the Primals can take that spot. There's a good reason for that. Anyways, he also was buried alive, and yet lived.
As you do.
And some amnesia, but still lived.
And he survived. And guess how he managed to overcome his amnesia?
Drinking.
No.
Gambling.
No.
How?
Explosives.
Explosives.
Yeah. His assistant Nashu has bombs that she makes herself. I don't know how, I don't know why, but that worked.
Well, if it works, it works.
Yeah. And that's only the begin. And to think, all that started because apparently someone found a case of get this, dapper zombies. Zombies that are moving around doing Hildebrand's signature pose.
The thriller move?
No, it's something a little more gentlemanly, as he calls it.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I said, every time when I do the Hildebrand quest, I'm just like either laughing, going what the heck, or just face palming, or screaming for my life when Juliana Mandeville comes on screen. That's his mother.
Oh.
Trust me, you don't want to go messing with his mother. Heck, even her own husband is scared of her. And he's the one that runs the Gold Saucer. And up until, like, one Little Lady Say event, he seems to have this thing against wearing pants.
Cool guys don't wear pants.
And you know what the crafting career his father Godford has?
What?
He's a gem crafter. And Juliana's a culinarian. And yet, she's able to smack a grown guy into the wall head first up to his waist.
Whoa.
Yeah! Now you see why I'm scared of her! That woman scares me! Oh, as I sat on the sofa just now, I just heard a strange sigh-like sound. Spooky. Are you sure it's not just, my power washer on your window?
Or maybe just the dust escaping from the couch.
Probably.
Escaping with one last breath because the house is so filthy, even the dust is starting to be killed off.
But yeah, like I said, the Hildebrand quests are just, like, so funny. They even include classic slapstick. And it's just so absurd. It's basically this comedic mystery anime in the middle of a most semi-serious fantasy game. Which gets me excited for when the next patch finally comes out, and then we get to see more of the story, because that part of the story involves aliens. Specifically, a little blue alien enemy called a poo-poo from Final Fantasy VIII.
A poo-poo.
Yep, and we're not down the drain there yet to figure out what's the deal with the poo-poo. Gotta wait till they flush out the next update.
Yep. And surprisingly enough, the series of Hildebrand quests also has ties to the weapon quests. So
I spied the link. I managed to get 2 jokes by, and she didn't even notice.
wait. Gosh freaking dang it, Chaos!
Tell me, did you even realize what the jokes were?
Well, now I think that she's rather flushed with embarrassment.
Oh yeah.
Something tells me I would tell you two to go sit in corners, but you're already sitting in corners.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess you could say that that idea really stinks.
Well, time to open up a window then.
Speaking of which, I better finish this window frame.
First, I thought you were gonna open up the window and just be like, by the way, I think you gotta be cleaned as well.
I feel very tempted because this is the medium duty one. Speaking of things that really got me going, I can't believe what you guys were talking about yesterday with your character in Midnight Suns.
Hey, I wasn't a part of that.
No, but Chaos and Burial and Pixel were having fun with his
My character.
character's mustache. There.
To be fair, I wasn't necessarily pushing it. I was just essentially just having fun with it.
You were going along with it.
I wasn't pushing it though. I was
Yeah.
just going with the flow because it didn't specifically offend me with that character.
True. Yeah.
Mainly just because they're all focusing on the mustache, and the mustache is as we discussed before, was very plot important as far as my character's lore in the game is concerned.
It sure didn't help that the first picture you put up when you were showing off the mustache was a shirtless pic.
To be fair, that was completely unintentional. I just went for the latest video of Midnight Suns and grabbed it there. The fact that Eddie wanted to be by the pool is semantics.
Anyway. Figure I get the underside of the porch roof while I'm at it.
Well, it is part of the job.
Okay. What am I missing on the railing? Oh, the underneath. Sure doesn't help that the drainage pipe there, the gutter pipe there is in the way. Okay. Time to get back up on this side. Boop. Thank goodness. Okay.
Anyway, I hate to do this, but my headache is really starting to bother me, so if
Yeah,
it's
no,
alright
no,
for
no,
you guys,
you
I'm
go-
gonna take a break.
Yeah, no. You go ahead, take a little nap, get a couple of aspirin, and relax. We got everything here.
Alrighty.
Yeah,
Catch
thanks
you
for-
guys later.
Yep, thanks for joining, Chaos.
Yep. And always remember, the real magic is the power of this highly powerful portable.
And And he's gone. Ah. Yeah, he definitely didn't sound too well, so
Yeah.
if any of my hosts want to drop out and take a nap, they are free to do so because I care for their health. They don't have to stick around and stay. Yeah. Of course, getting back to Hildebrand, speaking of feats of strength, Godbird is no slouch either.
I wouldn't expect him to be.
He can handle humongous chimerae while with his bare hands while being in nothing but his boxers. I wish I was kidding, but that's how he is introduced in through the Hildebrand story. How you actually meet him is actually he's like chilling out in Upper Lanasia, and you have to give him a massage.
You have to give him a massage.
I wish I was kidding.
God, I wish I had enough money for a massage.
Okay, get underneath the windowsill. Bingo! Woohoo! That saves on that. Alright. Finish up this roof a little. The underside of this roof a little more. Oh, sorry, the veranda.
We're only a quarter of the way there.
Yep. Get this gutter all cleaned up.
Get your grime out of the gutter.
Mm-hmm. And now handle the bricks. Yeah, I'm glad that they sectioned off these bricks easily. It makes it so much easier to clean it up.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about getting in between the mortar.
Yeah. Or it being one continuous chunk. But I remember like the one of the earliest moments of me having one of those crazy what the heck moments was back when I was playing Mystic Quest, and I meet up with this guy named Tristan while I'm trying to get this medicine for a friend I made who ended up getting poisoned by a boss we just beat. Tristan's a treasure hunter in that game that uses, like, ninja stars, shurikens. Okay. Get the bigger nozzle. Okay.
Sure, he can.
Thank you. Yeah. And like I said, he's looking for treasure.
You can throw ninja stars? Sure I can.
Ah, I got that joke.
I can resist.
You know what? Hold up. I think I got enough for another extension. Okay, I already got the biggest one. The soap nozzle is the most expensive piece? Good Lord Almighty.
Who's providing you with all this stuff?
I'm buying it off the internet.
because for a moment there, this whole catalog system was reminding me of how it used to be at Wendy's. It's like, yeah, they basically have you as a franchisee open up the restaurant, but then you gotta buy all the stuff that you need for your
Oh,
store
great.
from them.
Another piece of graffiti.
That makes two, right?
Mm-hmm.
Angelic symbols in Aramaic.
Yep. Anyways, got that cleaned up.
Wait, no, it's not Aramaic, Enochian. Aramaic is what Jesus spoke. It says, Rufus, see you in 2 years, Jesus. Freaked me out, because he basically told me when my number was up.
Yeah, I got the chimney done.
Wait a minute, Christ? You knew Christ? Knew him? Brother owes me $12.
Where's that from?
It's from Dogma, the movie that I mentioned during my Bending in the Ink Machine playthrough.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, Rufus is apparently the 13th apostle, but he was in the parts of the Bible that got cut out of the Bible, so he's basically getting involved in the events of the movie so that he can have a place in the history.
Okay.
He owes me $12. Yeah, Christ once told me the secret of the whole resurrection thing. We were at this wedding in Canaan, and I got drunk and forgot it. The wedding in Canaan, that's where Jesus turned the water to wine. I got drunk. Man, that movie is good.
Ah, yeah. Doing pretty good. Got 34% done. After cleaning up this charming little place, we're gonna call it there.
How much? What's the percentage? Let's see. That's 34%.
Yep.
It's about 10% in the last 10 minutes. I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no. Go right ahead. If my viewers want to go take quick little bathroom breaks, they are free to do so. do, 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 do. Yeah, viewers, I'm definitely excited when March begins because that's when that's when a couple of events happen, and of course we get the Midgar pack from Final Fantasy VII for this game on March the 2nd.
Alright, I'm back.
Hey!
Let's see, 37%. We're still at 1 star. Could have sworn that 37 would be at least 2 stars by now.
Well, this is
Maybe.
a slightly bigger house than that bungalow, so... Bless you, sis! Sorry for eardrums. I heard a sneeze in my end. That's a habit of mine. Every time I hear a sneeze across the room, I'm always... Really?
So you basically compulsively have to say bless you, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that'll be good to know. If I ever go back to making Sprite comics, while you're hiding from somebody, I'll have somebody sneeze, you pop up and say, God bless you, and then they find you.
No, when I'm hiding, I try my best to not say it. It's when I'm doing anything else.
But that's what will make it so funny, the fact that basically, you do it compulsively.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I was taught to do that when I was a kid, and I haven't outgrown it. It's only polite.
I mean, it reminds me of the scene from Who Framed Roger Rabbit when Eddie is in Toontown. He's basically pursuing Jessica into a dark alley. His shadow basically, grows on the wall. Then he sneezes. His shadow turns to him and says, Gesundheit. Because the shadow was a tune.
Yeah, that's a classic movie right there.
Yep.
Yeah, and to think the book was way different until the movie came out. And the author liked how the direction that the movie went, that he changed the book.
Yep. The original book was incredibly darker. And I still want to basically have a chance at reading it.
Okay, definitely need to get onto the roof for that one. Anyway. Do you hear that weird rumbling noise?
No, not really. Why?
No, I didn't hear it. What?
And that's
False
being
alarm.
sent by
Jenny
Aura.
just put the washer on spin.
Ah.
Oh, Aura.
Well, at least now you got the second star.
Yep.
But that would have been funny if it corresponded with you washing away another Enochian sigil.
Yeah. I didn't, clean up one that was, way up on the wall there. How the heck did the graffiti artist get it up there? I have no idea. Okay, got that one. Got that one. Definitely a much needed upgrade. There we go. Ah, there's the bugger. Haha.
Patrick, you made my house sparkly clean. Yup. We haven't improved Squidward's day yet. Let's do his house. Squidward, you're steaming. You're like a steamed vegetable, only smarter.
Do 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 do. I love this auto spray. Press a button and boom. A little bit of wood trim I missed. Now that's just convenient. And there's another one, those dang symbols. I'll get that in a minute. Right now this deck needs some TLC.
I mean, it would be funny if out of nowhere this game ended up having some kind of deep lore behind it. And like a sudden mystery story that's basically like hidden beneath the surface.
knowing some of these indie games, there probably is one, and we're not noticing it quite yet. It's happened before, and it'll happen again. Okay. Right then. Graffiti symbol. Meet your maker. Haha.
Yeah, I'm sure we don't need to worry. I mean, it's drawn in blood. If it was written in blood, then we need to worry.
I'm sorry, you kind of glitched out for a second there.
If it were written in blood, then we need to worry.
Yeah.
Or lamb's blood, either way.
Either way, that would be cause for worry. Blood in general.
Man,
Clean
I just
little
don't
window.
get what is going on here.
Oh, that's done. Yeah. That was well done. Now for the back door. Shiny clean. Okay, I got another question for you, Link. Puzzle games.
Yeah?
You like them?
Puzzle game?
Yep.
Well, it ultimately depends on what you define as a puzzle game, because in a lot of ways, some of the Zelda games are puzzle games based on how many you
Yeah,
have
I
to
mean
solve
something
for each
akin
dungeon.
to Tetris or Bejeweled. You know, just
Oh,
casual
yeah.
puzzles.
Well, since those are the defined parameters, I definitely can find some of them addicting. You ever heard of Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine?
Oh, who hasn't? I played a little bit of that on the emulator.
Yeah, basically, like, at some time last year, I basically got, like, obsessed with playing it. I would basically be playing it, like, whenever I wasn't doing virtually anything else, like, because it's such a fun and simple game. I remember that as a kid, it was impossible for me to figure out, but now as an adult, I can finally see informed strategies and find myself getting to the later levels, which used to be a Herculean task, very simple and easy to do.
Yeah, basically that game is technically called Puyo Puyo.
Puyo Puyo?
Yeah, that's what they call it in Japan.
Ah.
They just slapped the Dr. Robotnik thing because Sonic was popular at the time.
Ah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, lately I've been playing this game called Gems of War.
Gems of War.
Yeah, basically you're like doing puzzles with a team of like creatures on your side, and occasionally going against others, and just doing this epic quest. It's really fun, and like with the Mean Bean machine, very addicting. I swear, I like put in hundreds of hours and realized cash for the gems I needed for some of the stuff. But at least with their ways of like having a gem shop, it's not like a pay to win game.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Okay. I need to take off this nozzle so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. So yeah, it's free on the Switch. And sometimes the quests are a little silly.
How silly.
You're helping a drunken soldier dude who calls himself Brian the Lucky in a kingdom of goblins.
And this Brian the Lucky, is he missing a leg?
No, but half his sword seems to be missing, though.
Half his sword?
There we go. That's a little better. Don't ask. Like I said, it can be a little weird sometimes. Okay. And still no sign of Ulysses. I hope that cat's okay.
Cats are very resilient. Like,
I don't know. With that volcano we saw earlier, I mean, you saw the black smoke coming from it.
well,
Give me a...
technically at the time it was white steam.
True.
Awesome, 50% done.
Yep. Oh well, I'm sure we'll hear something from Calvin since he is the volcanologist.
I really hope that basically, like, we actually do have the ability to catch Ulysses if he comes around.
Yeah. Battery just goes home when he's hungry.
But so far, we've only ever spotted him once.
Yep.
It'd be funny if we found cat tracks on Mars. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Chaos mentioned how he wanted to see an alien cat, but I think it would have been funnier if Ulysses was up there.
I know. Okay, I can't do much more for the porch and veranda until I hit the roof. So let's continue working with this lower stuff.
I mean, who knows? Maybe Ulysses actually belongs to that secret organization, the same as Perry the Platypus from Phineas and Ferb.
Who knows?
An ordinary tabby cat? Ulysses the tabby cat?
Oh my freaking god, there's another one under the grime. Meet your maker! Seriously, what is it with these graffiti doodles? Oh well, at least this will introduce us to cleaning up graffiti. Because if I recall correctly, one of the stages from when I was watching Markiplier is a skate park.
Man, they're totally not going to like that.
Yeah, well, I'm going to need the really heavy-duty one for that.
From what I know, Enochian sigils are usually used to keep something trapped. Maybe this house really is haunted.
Yeah. Maybe. Okay. Get a little bit of light start on the roof.
Abraham DeLacy, Giuseppe Casey,
Woohoo!
Thomas O'Malley.
Oh man, I love the Aristocats.
Yep.
This gets me thinking about, like, I had a plushie of Duchess once. Unfortunately, it got lost between moves. It was my favorite plush.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
I definitely couldn't. Yeah.
So I'm hoping one day, one of these days, I'm gonna find another Duchess plush and I'm gonna buy it. Just for the memory. Oh, there's a window up there. And there's another one of those symbols. I know, I'm supposed to grab the ladder for this, but... Whee! I couldn't resist. Okay, I have a feeling that the top of the window... Oh, nope, never mind. I'm gonna just continue doing it this way.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I managed to score another window.
Well, I've got a question for you this time. How do you feel about games with a custom aesthetic system?
I kind of like it. Yeah. How do, Dirt Finder? I got a real doozy for you. When you spare a minute for us over at the recreational grounds. Oh, God. Hello, is this the Grime Bandits? I need some help with my poor little play school. Martha Hubbard. Oh, boy. I wonder. Oh, and another thing. Careful how you go around the volcano. Uh-oh. Why? We went down there to enjoy Smoky Santa, and Jenny saw a UFO pop out of the top and disappear before you could say, "Look, a UFO! Where?" Oh.
Now we've got aliens.
Lovely.
Are they coming down and making everything dirty? Maybe Chaos is right. Maybe Bowser Jr. is behind all this, and everything is made out of that goopy ink that Egad came up with.
Yeah. Well, either way, if that is the case, then I got a huge bill to get to Bowser for this. Come on, the guy is freaking loaded. I'm sure he can pay it off.
Yeah, I mean, like, after certain Mario games, you definitely gotta get a sense that Bowser is pretty well connected.
Okay, the rest needs to be on the other side. I swear, every time I turn around, there's another one of those symbols. Okay, it's done. So Santa tells me I may have to clean an UFO.
Clean a UFO.
I mean, I already cleaned the Mars rover, so why not?
So, So what are we, a galactic car wash now?
I mean, I've already cleaned a couple of vehicles. I mean, look at my van. I did that. Ah, another clean wall. There we go.
You ever read something that's so confusing that just doesn't make any sense to you?
Many times.
Yeah.
Why?
On YouTube, I'm basically sort of getting notifications of community posts from this channel that basically is hosting this unpopular opinions column on the Harry Potter franchise. Basically, anybody can post an anonymous unpopular opinion, and if they get chosen, they get featured in a community post. So, this person, the person that basically posted today, this one is really confusing because let me just basically give you the opening sentence. Quote, I think what Umbridge did was kind of justified.
Excuse me!
Exactly. But then the post gets really confusing. Like, you want me to read the rest of it?
I've got a strange morbid curiosity now. Lay it on me, Link.
Before the quote, before the fandom kills me, this is unpopular. Probably the most unpopular opinion ever, so please be respectful to my opinion. Of course they would say that. Back to the point, Umbridge, although naturally cruel and vile, deserves at least a justification, at least up until she worked at Hogwarts. Look, at the time, Umbridge was under the Ministry, and the Ministry at that moment was completely in denial of the fact that you-know-who had actually returned. Umbridge was just a part of the bigger system that was already manipulating, in denial and desperate to hide the truth. So, what's his point there? The fact that Umbridge was willing to go along with the denial just as much as the rest of them, somehow it makes her justified in what she does? I mean, basically this guy ends up mentioning it later, but I really don't see how her being in denial justifies the fact that she sent 2 Dementors to Little Winching with the intention of killing Harry. Yeah, that was her intention, that the Dementors kill him because he couldn't defend himself, but the fact that he did defend himself is basically what gave them the opportunity to try and get him expelled. So, I really don't get how this guy is thinking that Umbridge could in any way be justified when her intent was to murder a child. A 15-year-old child. If he even was 15 at the time. I think that he has his birthday while he's waiting for the hearing. So, yeah, he does, because they take him to Grimwald Place, and he spends the next few weeks there gearing up for the trial. So,
what was that guy smoking?
It continues. Where did I leave off? For instance, I think punishing Harry wasn't justified by writing I must not tell lies, but it's not rocket science to know that if Umbridge wanted to keep her job and achieve her dream, she had to take steps just as cruel as the Ministry would have, so the truth could be concealed. So you get that you think that basically making Harry write a message in his own blood that scarred the back of his hand isn't justified, but you think that everything else that she did to keep her job is? What the heck, man? While asking Harry about Sirius, Umbridge was damn sure that Harry wouldn't tell her for the life of him. Even when Marietta was caught, she knew Marietta had information that she could put to use. Even when she sent the Dementors after Harry, she had to. Yeah, he's literally mentioned it, but he's saying like she did, quote, what she had to do? No, she didn't. Like, literally speaking, Umbridge sending the Dementors was literally so far out of line and she didn't have to do it at all. Literally speaking, like, her sending the Dementors, if they actually did kill Harry, would have made the Ministry look even worse because it only shows that the Ministry can't control them. It will basically prove the point that they need to be dismissed from Azkaban before they end up roaming free. And by the end of this book, they end up joining Voldemort anyway. So...
Yeah. Nice going, Umbridge.
Okay, she's cruel. I know she's the worst character because she enjoyed troubling, torturing people. What I'm saying is just why she acted that way. Only for some instances. Banning practice of defense against the dark arts was one of the worst acts, but it's that she had to stop children from becoming physically capable of being able to attack even the Ministry if they would. That's how I perceive it. I'm very respectful of all the backlash and disagreements. Thank you for controlling your anger, because I too didn't understand how I tried to justify the Umbridge. Thank you again, open and respectful of all the comments coming the way. That was a very confusing bit there, and I'm not even sure he's aware of the argument that he was trying to make, because, truth be told, when I get down to it, I don't really see the Ministry as being in denial as much as they are. I see it as they're literally coming up with any kind of excuse to where they basically can keep ignoring the situation. Like, all that stuff with Dumbledore wanting about wanting to be the Minister of Magic, and the belief that that Dumbledore was using the students as an army to challenge the Ministry. Fudge knew it was BS. He literally made it up because he basically wanted a justification for trying to get rid of who he perceived as a political rival. It's the same thing that he did with Barty Crouch when he realized that everyone else wanted Barty Crouch to be minister before they wanted him. So he literally, when he became minister, he had Barty demoted and basically ensured that he'd never be in a position to run for Minister of Magic ever again. That's basically what I... Yeah?
Well, I found my second favorite hated character in the game. In the series.
Yeah, Fudge. There's a reason why they call him the worst Minister for Magic. A completely incompetent, bumbling fool.
Sounds like a lot of today's politics, eh?
Yep. I mean, I think that there's really only one thing that Fudge ever did where he was involved in the events that didn't ultimately lead to, well, how do I put this? He didn't ultimately screw up too much, because before he became Minister for Magic, at the time before the series began, he was actually the first person on the scene after the incident that supposedly killed Peter Pettigrew and killed 12 other Muggles and left Sirius Black looking guilty as hell. Especially considering that when he arrived on the scene and saw Sirius standing there amidst the explosion, and Sirius realizes that he'd just been set up to take the fall by Peter, all Sirius can do is just laugh hysterically at how badly they'd all been played by him. And so, basically, to Fudge, Sirius did look like a madman. Of
Yep.
course, I don't really blame Sirius. I don't blame Fudge all that much for Sirius being sent to Azkaban for 12 years, because his memories of being with James and Lily is actually what kept the Dementors from driving him completely insane. So, yeah, it's bad that he was in prison for 12 years, but I don't think that it was nearly as traumatic as the movie depicts it as being. Because, like, when Fudge comes and visits the prison to basically release Hagrid, he sees that Sirius is relatively unchanged compared to the other prisoners, even after 12 years. And so, basically, like, I feel like Sirius was all right just as long as he knew that Harry was alive. But the person that I actually do blame a little bit more is Dumbledore, because I honestly am convinced that with how clever Dumbledore is and the fact that he is an experienced legitimens, the fact that he can read people's minds, I think that it would be a very simple matter for him to have known, or at least discerned, the truth about Sirius's being innocent. But the problem is that, well, without Peter Pettigrew, like, they definitely wouldn't have anybody in prison. But then, why doesn't he just basically, like, the Ministry would probably take Dumbledore at his word that Sirius was innocent, because he's a very well-respected man, so why didn't he ever testify on Sirius's behalf? Because of Harry. As Harry's godfather, Sirius would basically have the first rights to take Harry and take care of him, and unfortunately, as much as good a life that Harry would have with Sirius, it wouldn't be the proper place for him, because the enemies of the Dark Lord would basically be trying to kill Harry in order to avenge their fallen master, and he had to go to the one place where he had Lily's blood protection, the Dursleys.
Oh, so that's why.
Yep. So not only did Harry have to suffer for like 17 years living with the Dursleys before he was finally free of them for good, because Dumbledore basically needed to keep him safe, but because that he needed to keep him safe, Sirius also had to suffer for 12 years as well, because Harry could not go live with him. He couldn't leave the Dursleys because he needed their protection whenever he wasn't at Hogwarts.
Ay, ay, ay. Why couldn't, like, they find another blood relative of Lily's?
Yeah, it's a shame, because
I mean, I'm sure she has, like, a cousin somewhere, or maybe a few other relatives that wasn't quite so cruel.
it kind of makes me wonder. It's been a while since I've read the books. What happened to Lily's parents? I know that James's parents died when he was very young, so, well, not when he was very young. They had him when they were already very old. So they basically like raised him throughout their twilight years.
Oh, poor James. I mean, by the sounds of things, the her parents were actually okay with her being a witch. Petunia was
Yeah,
the only one that seemed to have an issue with it.
exactly. Let's see. According to J.K. Rowling, Lily and Petunia's mother and father were said to have died normal muggle deaths. But when? Like, you would think that they'd be invited to the wedding, and that they definitely would want to see their grandson. Because, I mean, it seems kind of messed up that Harry basically comes into this world where he doesn't have either set of grandparents.
Yeah, there's some plot holes that she left in all this.
Yeah, there are. Let's see. Mr. Evans died between September 1st, 1971, and let's see, October 31st, 1981. That's the year that James and Lily died, I think. Let's see, he was the father of Petunia. So, according to this, he was dead for at least 10 years. So,
Hmm. So he died before the events.
yeah.
Okay, what about the mom?
Okay, I'm trying to find it. Let's see. Where's his wife? Married, British. Where's his wife? Family members. Mrs. Evans. Wow, Joanna, you didn't even give them names, did you? Let's see. Also says the same thing. Died between September the 1st, 1971 and October 31st, 1981. So at some point, they would have both had to have been dead before Voldemort came to Godric's Hollow for the Potters. So,
Oh,
but that is a
lovely.
shame. Yeah.
Oh,
My unpopular opinion is that I just wish that the Dursleys weren't written to be as vile as they were, because I
I
just don't.
know.
And there's another one.
Yep. Because I have this like little alternate universe in my head where the Dursleys kind of pretend to be cruel and vile, but in actuality they give him a good life.
So, like, they basically just, like, their attitude towards him is more like, I don't know, light teasing or tough love, kind of like that.
Yeah. Oh, I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but I've looked into the creepy symbols you found on the side of the house that you're working on. Uh-oh.
Oh? Come on, Shaw, don't leave me hanging.
Turns out they're just builder's diagrams telling the plumber where to put the gap for the overfill pipe.
Bow. Thanks. Thanks, Shaw. That,
Yeah, I had a feeling. Angel symbols, my foot.
this game, certainly has a sense of humor, doesn't it?
Yep.
How much you want to bet that the UFO is just going to be a weather balloon?
Wait, I can grab my footstool all the way out here? Jeez.
Wow, you've got some reach on you.
I know.
My alternate universe is that I basically imagine a world where the Dursleys actually were nice to Harry. They treated him like responsible people actually would, and that they didn't overspoil Dudley so much. And in that world, Dudley and Harry grew up to be friends, if not kind of like brothers.
Exactly.
Because I feel like that could lead to so many other different sort of potential for comedic effect, but also character avenues. Like, let's say that Dudley almost goes down the same path that Petunia did, finding out that Harry is this special wizard who can do magic. He gets all new magical friends, and suddenly him coming home over the summer to spend time with them seems mundane by comparison, because he can't do magic and he knows where Harry would rather be. So he feels a little bit jealous because he feels like Harry is kind of drifting apart into a world that he can't be a part of.
Yeah. But
And
I
who
feel,
knows? Yeah, go ahead.
and I feel like in my alternate universe that it's the same thing, but Harry reassures him that he still cares for him as his cousin.
And it could actually basically give a really good level of kind of concern for the Dursleys, because basically speaking, you know, at the end of every single book and movie, Harry goes home with fresh bruises and cuts on his face, and the Dursleys don't give a crap. I honestly would think that basically every single time he comes home looking like that, after being assured from Dumbledore that Hogwarts is the safest place for him, that they'd start getting concerned. And then afterwards, after year 4 with the Triwizard Tournament, with not only Harry coming back beat all to hell, but having night terrors about what happened, basically being traumatized, that would certainly raise a great deal of concern.
Yeah, and they'll be probably finding ways of sending letters to Hogwarts wondering, what the heck? You guys, you promised that this was a safe place. Why is all this happening?
Yep. And I also have this one vision. Like, let's say that Uncle Vernon is not the vile caricature of a man that the books and movies depict him as, but a really kind and caring uncle who was doing his best that he could to be a father figure to Harry. Let's say he escorts him all the way to the train station and they try to find platform 9 3/4, only to basically catch the Weasleys using it. And so Vernon basically asks Molly for help about the whole thing. She basically gives him and Harry the rundown. They go through together, and Vernon sees him off on the train, and Molly can see just how nervous Vernon is by letting Harry go, because he knows that this is basically what led to his parents being killed the way they were, so Molly invites him out to tea. And then, next thing you know, she basically kind of becomes a friend and confidant for Vernon, and throughout the rest of the series, the Weasleys keep giving the Dursleys advice on their world and how to deal with it, and I feel like that could lead to some interesting character situations.
I agree. I mean, Harry's friends with Ron. Why not have the Dursleys friends with his parents? Whoops.
Sometimes I feel like I'm a better person than I actually am, because here I am basically trying to find the best in people. It usually doesn't sound like me.
Yeah. Still, Lord Almighty. And then, of course, all these things J.K. Rowling really doesn't like.
Yep. I guess maybe when I'm reading a story, I kind of expect more from a character. Like, a character can start out a certain way, but I certainly don't expect them to end in that certain way. Because, I mean, in the final book and everything, Petunia and Dudley do have their moments where it seems like they do sort of regret how they treated Harry, and he at least ends on good terms with Petunia and Dudley, but Vernon basically gives him no consideration. He doesn't make it basically.
You're starting to glitch up.
Badly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's starting to glitch up again.
Am I still glitching up? Do you hear me now?
Yeah, whoa, there was a bit of bad glitching there, but it seemed to fix itself.
My internet is doing very weird things. I keep unplugging the router to reset everything, but but that's really the point that I'm trying to make. I kind of wanted a bit more of a different character progression, because one of the characters that I really wish got a certain different level of treatment was actually Draco Malfoy.
Oh my gosh, yes!
Yeah. I honestly expected so much more from the character, because I felt like he stayed being the bully antagonist a bit too long, when I was actually convinced that at some point in the series, after maybe a few years of them butting heads with each other, they was going to reveal something that was really redeemable about Draco, and he and Harry were actually going to become friends, but their friendship was going to be strained when Harry found out the truth about Draco's father. So that would kind of be a conflict of interest. You know how basically Sirius Black tells a story to Harry that when he had a falling out with his family because he didn't want to uphold the Black family traditions of blood purity and all that, not associating with Muggles, he tells a story about how he ran away from home and went to the Potter's place in order to basically in order to pretty much find a place where he actually was welcome, where he belonged. I expected that at some point Draco would ultimately do the same, that maybe he didn't truly 100% believe his father's blood purity and finally realized that I'm done trying to please you, so he runs away and the only place he knows to go is the Weasleys, hoping beyond hope that they'll help him.
I agree. Despite everything he did, he really needed some help, because at this point he was practically being abused by Lucian.
I know, right?
By Lucius.
In the extended scenes that were basically left out and put in the special edition of Chamber of Secrets. When we first see him, he literally hits him on the back of the hand with his cane, which is shaped like a snake and has really sharp bits, and the prop that they used was really heavy, so when Isaac actually hit David's, I think his name was David, no, Tom Felton. When he hits Tom Felton's hand, it actually, the snake teeth actually punctured his hand and it caused him to bleed. It's like, you really got me there.
Oops.
So yeah, I honestly expected a bit more of that. And, like, it could lead to so much character drama, especially after Voldemort comes back, because then, instead of it could basically be like a similar story, because now, Voldemort is basically going to be blackmailing Draco to do the assassination attempt under the threat of killing both of his parents. Not just Lucius locked away in Azkaban, but his mom as well. So it's like, now I have to do this, because one way or another, he's going to kill me and my entire family unless I do this. And that could basically, like, lead to the whole wedge between the two of them when it seemed like they were finally about to have a real relationship.
I know. So many opportunities.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, J.K. Rowling left so many flippin' unwanted plot holes.
Yep. Speaking of, like, the whole plot holes, how do you feel about the whole Secret Keeper kind of thing?
I feel that was shoehorned in.
Yeah, I feel like it's completely unnecessary, because the way that the book describes it, the Secret Keeper is literally a binding form of magical contract that basically binds a secret to a person, and that secret literally cannot be coerced out of them. They have to give up the secret willingly. So effectively, it only became just another means of pointing the guilty finger at Sirius Black when it really wasn't all that necessary, because basically, well, it basically means that the only way he would actually have given up the secret to Voldemort would be if he willingly gave it up to Voldemort. They couldn't torture the information out of him, and so it just kind of feel like it would be pointless. So Voldemort could have captured him, could have tortured him, but he would literally be incapable of giving up the secret through torture. He would have to give it up willingly. So, sure, Sirius might have gotten killed over it, but he literally said, I would have died rather than betray my friends. So,
Exactly.
I think that, yeah, there's a smudge on the side of, like, the staircase down there, by the way.
Huh?
I think that there was some smudge on the patio staircase down there.
Oh, right there.
Yep.
No, I don't see any.
Well, I think you just got it.
Yeah, it was on the wall. I'm almost done this. I mean, look at this! It's such a pretty red.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that this thing was like a huge mess before.
I can't believe that they even let it get like that. That's just going too far.
Yeah, she must have been dead for so long she forgot to leave some maintenance on the house.
Well, it's basically kind of hard to find good help when all the people that you surrounded yourself with literally start praising the person that killed you.
Yeah. Well, she did, like, go missing, so we're not sure if she's alive or dead. She probably is dead by this point. But yeah, I can definitely see what you mean with even the Draco, the Secret Keeper, and everything. J.K. Rowling really left us with so much to be desired. Okay.
Yep. And it feels like in a lot of ways she just overcomplicated things, you know?
Yeah. Wait. Oh my god.
Little bit right there. You can take the ladder up there?
Yep.
But how do you get up there?
I think I'm supposed to do this.
man, I really hope that this
Thanks,
ladder has,
game.
like, a brake on it. Don't want it sliding off the roof.
Nah, there's rubber stops on it, so... Alrighty.
One of the things that I definitely think... I will admit that the movies don't nearly do a good job as much as the books do. Like, I think that with Book 4, with all the stuff that they left out, some of it makes sense, some of it doesn't, but I feel like with some of the little additions that the movies make actually are, well, they're warranted. Some of the changes that were made actually were made for the better. Like in Prisoner of Azkaban, for example. Literally the only clue about Peter Pettigrew that we get throughout the entire novel is when Harry overhears the story about how Peter Pettigrew was once friends with Sirius Black and James Potter, and that Sirius Black killed him, and so he's supposed to be dead, and that he lost a finger. That's literally the only mention that we get in the entire book, and that happens, I'd say, relatively part-way through, and we don't get any sort of mention of him ever again, so that by the time the climax happens, he's well and truly out of our minds. But in the movie, however, we get that one scene where Harry is looking at the Marauders map, and he sees Pettigrew moving through the castle. And so, that
as a rat.
As a rat. And that basically gives us the clue that Peter Pettigrew is actually still alive, and thus he is a player in these events, because comparatively speaking, when you get to the book, the reveal with Peter Pettigrew literally comes out of nowhere, because it's like, how do I put this? He was such a minor detail that Rowling didn't give us any reason to suspect that he was actually the one behind it. It's like, he didn't even have enough detail to be considered a candidate, even as a red herring, but he ended up being such an important, massive detail. I mean, like, take Chamber of Secrets, for example. The diary that contained Tom Riddle's soul, Voldemort, that was, like, detailed from the start, with it ending up in Ginny's cauldron and Harry and the friends encountering it earlier in the story. That's basically enough setup to let you know that there's something off about this book, and somebody tried to get rid of it, so why? So,
Yep.
Anyway, so then the reveal of him being the diary being the thing behind everything doesn't come off as so shocking and out of nowhere, because you could easily piece it together. But with Pettigrew, he's literally such a nothing character that you wouldn't even remotely suspect that he'd be the one behind it. Especially because, like, the whole idea is that these characters were all friends. The only one that basically seemed to pretty much betray the others was Sirius Black. So it's like, you don't basically consider that one of the other friends might have been the bad apple and Black might have just been the patsy. But but still, like, the thing that I definitely like the most is the fact that afterwards they combine the scenes with Lupin confiscating the Marauders map from Harry, and him getting Harry out of trouble with Snape into one scene. He confiscates the map, and he tells him that this map in the hands of Sirius Black would be so dangerous because it could lead him right to you. So I'm going to take it from you, and I'm not going to cover for you again. You just go back to your dorm and you stay there. So, but then Harry tells Lupin that he saw Peter Pettigrew on the map, and Lupin, realizing that should be impossible, starts to realize a few things and starts to piece it together that, okay, something is seriously wrong here, and I gotta start paying a whole lot more attention. Because the way that the book describes it, well, you can get a sense from the movie that the moment that Harry told him about Peter Pettigrew, Lupin now knows that something is up and he's on the lookout for it. In the book, however, it's basically described that Lupin just so happened to be looking at the Marauders map and saw that Peter Pettigrew was with Harry and his two friends, and basically realized that, oh crap, he is alive, and so he basically, like, rushes out there to go and meet them. It seems kind of coincidental that he'd happen to be looking at the map at that specific time after Hagrid has reunited Ron with Scabbers, which is Pettigrew. So, And the fact that Lupin was apparently stupid enough to not only leave the map behind, but also leave it unlocked and lying out in the open on the desk in his office, so that when Snape shows up to give him his Wolfsbane potion, he ends up seeing the map and realizing where everyone is going, and basically chases after them, trying to capture Sirius Black for himself.
Yep, because he's got a bit of a grudge.
Yep. It's just, in the movie, it works so much better in the implication that Snape was just following Lupin because he never trusted him from the get-go because they were all friends back when they were younger. Lupin was friends with Sirius Black and James and Peter Pettigrew, so he's been suspecting that Lupin was the one helping Black get into the castle the entire time. Especially considering that I'm pretty sure that if Snape did ever discover how that the Marauders map was as powerful as it was, he'd certainly never let Harry get away with using it ever again, and holy crap, that's a lot of small bits.
Tell me about it.
That makes me wish that you could just dump a great deal of water on top of this roof. Let gravity do it.
On top of all that, I still got a bunch of wooden trims I didn't do. At least I got the gutters. Whoop! Okay. Let's see. Okay, that wooden trim's done. This wooden trim is done.
Let's see, 357, 311.
Let me just get back onto this roof and finish it. But yeah, it's just Harry Potter deserved much better than what has happened.
Yep. But at least we can all unanimously agree on one thing.
J.K. Rowling's horrible.
But I was going to say that both the movies and the books are a whole lot better than The Cursed Child.
Yep. I swear, she just shoehorned that in as an extra fan fiction.
Actually, I don't even think she had a hand in writing it. I think that she just endorsed the check. I'm keeping an eye on my Wi-Fi connection.
Ah!
Part of the reason that kept me up all night last night was every 30 minutes it seemed like my desktop machine basically lost its ability to sense the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi didn't go out because my other devices were still connected. My machine literally just lost the ability to sense Wi-Fi at all. So that kept on. I updated all the drivers.
This one trim's good. This one trim's good. This one trim's definitely good. That one trim is good. I figure while I'm down on the ground, I check the wind trim. Aha! This one's good. Oh, got caught on the door. That one's good. Oh, you sneaky devil. It's all on the front. Alright, got that done. Nope. Okay. Stubborn things. Come on. Get me up there. Woo! Alright.
Also, isn't there like a little bit of smudge on that, what do you call it? The point where the two halves of the roof meet?
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't...
There's quite a few smudges. Thankfully, all the extra little bits will be cleaned up as soon as I finish the bigger parts. All I can say is, yeesh, this roof is steep. Oh, thank goodness. All that's left is those wooden trims. Let's see. Up. Oh, this is awkward. There we go. Okay, that wooden trim's good. There's just 3 wooden trims I'm missing. Where are they? Is it this? No, that one's clean. This one? No. I know I got that one done. No. 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 This is just gonna keep bothering me.
I think I might know where it is.
Where?
Like, you're standing in front of the house, right?
Yeah?
Like, face the front-facing wall and back up a bit. Right, you're there. Look up to that triangular portion on the roof to the left.
Oh! That one's good. Ah! Okay, where's my ladder?
It's on the other side of the roof.
Okay, that's done. I'm just missing 2 more. Where are they? Okay, that one's good. That one's good.
You would think that basically, like, for small little bits like this, it would automatically just, I don't know, ping.
I know. Does this count? The fence? No.
Maybe the undersides?
No, I've already got those cleaned. This is just gonna drive me absolutely bonkers trying to find these. Go ahead and laugh. Go ahead and laugh. Okay, that one. Just one more left. I'm gonna check the other deck.
Hit the deck.
Oh, I just saw it! Aha! Of course. It's on top of the garage door. Finally!
Yeah, that wasn't gonna go away by itself.
Nope.
Whoa. A lot of money.
Yeah, but I still need to build another 1,300 if I want to get that next upgrade. The house looks amazing, almost normal. You know what is strange, though? As you were finishing, there was this screech from the attic, so I opened the latch and something whooshed past my face, followed by a grubby gray feather floating mysteriously down. I think it was Esther's soul leaving, finally at peace. That or a bird in the roof.
But yeah, the house does look nice. Makes me want to build it in Minecraft.
Oh,
Probably.
yeah.
Like, what do you think? Red concrete or terracotta?
Definitely concrete.
It's kind of orangish.
You know what? Yeah, the terracotta. Anyways.
Yeah.
Well, that's done. Now let's see what we go. Martha Hubbard. Oh, Mother Hubbard. Makes sense. And of course, we got a freaking skate park to do for. Oh my God! Look at that price.
Holy, that is one big payday.
Yeah, and I think we'll save these for the next time because I've been sitting on my butt for 3 hours. I've done 3 jobs and a bonus. Woo! So, and besides, I still need like 4 more stars before I'm able to unlock this bad boy, the Prime Vista 3000. And you know what comes with this bad boy, the Prime Vista 3000?
What?
That. The donut pink.
Donut.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad that we can basically wash away all of our worries with a stream like this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, I definitely
Stream
thank
had
you.
a good flow.
Oh, jeez. Before we are definitely flooded with so many water puns, I'd like to thank Linkzilla for joining me in this, as well as Chaos before he had to go and take a rest.
Yep, here's to you, Chaos. Cheers.
Yep, and remember, the only real magic you have is your imagination and a friendly spirit. I'm sure.
Good night, everybody.
Yep. Bye, everyone. Let's see. There we go. Bye.